Hi students, welcome to VerandaRace. Today's session will be about ESIC questions, 25 questions in a rapid fire mode. Rapid fire mode will mean we'll do it very fast so that to tell you how to improve your speed while solving English questions. So let us start the session. First is error spotting 5 questions. Let us solve these questions. So first question is, in order to attract tourists, many hotels have been offered attractive deals and discounts. So it will be many hotels have been offering. Errors in part 3. In order to attract many tourists, many hotels have been offering attractive deals and discounts. Okay. Next, the board is likely to take its time to examine the facts before giving their decision. So it should be before giving its decision. The board is likely to take its time to examine the facts before giving its decision. Fine. How can we open these branches on time if we have not yet obtained the licenses? How can we open these branches on time if we have not yet obtained the licenses? Well, how can we open these branches on time if we have not yet obtained the license? No error question. One of the disadvantages of fixed deposit schemes is that banks offer low rate of interest, because one of the is followed by a plural noun. So it will be one of the disadvantages of fixed deposit. Fine. In the first question you see have been offering, present perfect continuous. Next is board is singular, so it will be its decision. Because board is singular, it will follow the pronoun its, its. How can we open? No error. One of the disadvantages, because one of the is followed by a plural noun. According to experts, it is necessary for you to save necessary, not necessarily. According to experts, it is necessary for you to save and invest at least 25% of your monthly income. It will be necessary and not necessarily. Necessary is adjective. Necessarily is adverb. So here it is necessary will act as a complement to the verb is it, subject it, so it will be necessary. Okay. Moving ahead to the Parajumbal question. Let's solve this question. The two new union laws passed were, so it shows were, which cannot be the first sentence. The two new union acts are on agriculture markets, which according to the sharing of the legislative powers in the Indian Constitution are under the okay, the two new union acts can be the first sentence. Let's study C. A set of 3 legislations, 2 acts and an amendment by the Union Government in 2020, collectively referred to as the farm laws in the popular narrative, have resulted in protests by farmers outside the national capital. So this is the first sentence. It has to be the first sentence because it introduces the farm laws, the 3 farm laws, 3 legislations, 2 acts and an amendment. Okay. It introduces the farm laws, so it will be the first sentence. Okay. Next, 2 new laws and the 3rd an amendment to the existing act aim to create a one nation, one market framework in what is essentially a federal nation, though with a unitary bias. Okay. A set of 3 legislation have resulted in protests. Okay, let's study E. The 3rd legislative measure was an amendment to the Essential Commodities Act to remove uncertainties regarding stocking limits on food commodities, which were provided for under the ECA to continue price volatility, and not to uncommon feature in commodity markets. Okay, so we have identified C as the first statement. Let us read C again. A set of 3 legislations, 2 acts and amendment by the Union State Governments in 2020, collectively referred to as farm laws in popular narrative, have resulted in protests by farmers outside the national capital. Okay. Okay. Next can be, if we see the 2 new union laws passed were, okay, so it talks about legislations first, acts second and amendment third. So let us arrange other sentences based on that. So you see, this is the first one after C. This is the laws number 2. So this will be 1 after C, 1, 2, this will be the two union acts, so it will be 3, it will be 3 and it will be 4. I'll tell you why, see. So the first sentence C says, a set of 3 legislation, 2 acts and an amendment. Okay. So D talks about an amendment to an existing act. So this is, D is basically talks about an amendment. So it has to be last if we talk about the amendment, right? So if we see, C is the first sentence. The third legislative measure was an amendment to the Essential Commodities Act. So this is 3 legislation. So E will be the second sentence. Going by logic. The 2 new union laws passed for the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Act, because it talks about the 2 acts or 2 laws. They both will be the same. So CEA. Then B comes, the 2 new union acts for R on. So it describes, B describes A, the 2 new union laws passed for Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Act 2020 on the Contract Farming Act 2020. The 2 new union acts are on agricultural markets, which according to the sharing of legislative powers in the Indian Constitution are under the domain of state government. So CEA, B will be the fourth sentence. I'll tell you why, don't worry. And then D will be the last sentence, the 2 new laws, and the third an amendment. So it talks about the amendment which was mentioned at the last in the C sentence. C sentence, amendment was mentioned at the last, so it will be CEABD. Let's recapitulate. So C introduces the 3 farm laws, which was a set of 3 legislations, 2 acts and an amendment by the Union government, collectively referred to as farm laws. So, okay, the third legislative measure was an amendment to the Essential Commodities Act to remove uncertainties regarding which were provided ECA to control. So this has to be the second sentence. I'll tell you why. Legislative measures. This is the third legislative measure. It will be the second sentence. CE. Next should come 2 acts, right? Next should come acts. So CEA, the 2 new union laws and acts are same, passed on the farms produce, and then it's this B describes the 2 new union acts or on the agricultural markets. So CEAB will be going together, CEA, and then will come D, the 2 new laws and the third an amendment. So D has to be the last sentence. So we had to arrange CE is a pair and D is the last sentence. So AB comes very well. So it will be CEABD. Correct? Moving ahead. Fillers. No one else under a good kingship is held dash to the loss of public property but the king, who is accountable for the mishap. So no one else under a good kingship is held responsible to or liable to. So liable to will be the correct answer. It means that in a good kingship, under a good kingship, and no one else is held responsible but the king. So it is, the king is held liable to, not responsible for. Had it been for over here, we could have chosen responsible, but we'll choose liable to. Liable to means responsible for. Okay? Accountable, responsible, insoluble. Insoluble is not an apt word over here, so it is already out of the race. So liable to will be the correct one. Liable to means responsible for. Okay? Moving ahead. Schizophrenia is a psychiatric condition that emanates from dash disorder of the brain and in later stages leads to bipolar ailment. Okay, so schizophrenia is a psychiatric condition that emanates from dash disorder of the brain. See, coeval means having the same origin. Prejudicial means having some prejudice about someone. Congenital means since birth. So it should be congenital. Emanates from congenital disorder of the brain, means since birth some disorder is there. So schizophrenia is considered to be a congenital disorder. Inherent means something which is already inside it. So we have inherent qualities, but congenital disorder will mean something that has been present since birth. So answer will be congenital. Congenital means present since birth. Prejudicial means having prejudiced opinion about someone. Having already an opinion about something and someone is known as prejudicial. Coeval means having the same origin or the same platform. Coevals, having the same origin. So answer will be congenital. Congenital will be the answer. Okay, moving ahead to the next question. Samir has been taking those medicines for long and this has taken a toll. Taken a toll means affected badly on his physical and mental health dash the claims of the medicine producers that the pills have no side effects. See, Samir has been taking those medicines for long and this has taken a bad shape on his physical and mental health. But the claims of the medicine producers is that the pills have no side effects. So here it should be notwithstanding. Notwithstanding means in spite of. Notwithstanding means in spite of. In spite of or despite. So despite the claims of the medicine producers that the pills have no side effects, Samir health has taken a toll. The medicines have taken a toll on his physical and mental health, in spite of the fact that the claims of medicine producers that the pills have no side effects. So notwithstanding means in spite of. Nevertheless means still. However is equivalent to but. Nevertheless is still. Without means you know the meaning of without, right? So notwithstanding will be the correct answer. Next question. Rahim need not dash any one of the details of the project under the sun, since it has become every individual's expectation. Need not dash anyone. So apprise anyone. See, here we have used of. Here we have used of. Here we have used of. So it should be apprise. Apprise. Inform about, enlighten about, demonstrate without any preposition, discuss without any preposition. But apprise will be followed by of. So Rahim need not apprise anyone of the details. And apprise means inform. Rahim need not apprise anyone of. So it means inform anyone about. So apprise means inform followed by of. So Rahim need not apprise anyone of the details of the project under the sun, since it has become every individual's expectation. Fine. Moving ahead. The sayings of Kabir and other saints of his era acted like a dash of light in showing the people the right way to live life. So something that shows the light to people will be known as beacon. Beacon of light means a light that shows direction to people. Especially in the olden times, and now also there are lighthouses in the mid of the lake, or there's a lighthouse, big lighthouse, tall lighthouse is there. So in the night the lighthouse emits some light that shows the direction to the boats, steamers or ships. So that is known as a beacon of light. So the sayings of Kabir and other saints of his era acted like a dash beacon of light in showing the people the right way to live life. So beacon would be like a ray of light, but it shows direction. Please understand. Okay. Moving ahead. Of the two, now phrase replacement. Of the two friends, I believe the oldest one is the taller. So for two friends, we'll use the older, not the oldest. The older one is the taller. We'll use this statement, D number. Of the two friends, I believe the older one is the taller. Because within the same family, we use elder, eldest. Outside the family, we use older. Because these are two friends not from the same family, we will use of the two friends, the older one is the taller. Okay. Moving ahead. Most of the engineering aspirants like to see this kind of videos. So this is videos, so it will be these kinds of videos. The answer will be D. So most of the engineering aspirants like to see these kinds of videos will be the correct answer. Kinds will be preceded by these. Although many people think that we cannot use these kinds of, we can use these kinds of, but depends on the object that comes later on. For example, these kinds of picture is incorrect, this kind of picture will be correct, these kinds of pictures will be correct. Okay. Moving ahead. Seeing him working on the sum, I asked him since how long he had been trying to solve it. So seeing him working on the sum, I asked him how long had he been working. How long he had been, I asked him how long he had been working. How long he had been working, trying to solve it, sorry. How long he had been trying to solve it. How long, since would not be used because already asked has been used over here. So we don't need any other conjunction to join. How long he had been trying to solve it. This will be the correct answer. How long had he been will again become a question which is incorrect. So we have to use how long he had been trying to solve it. Okay. Next question. The scandal by Harshad Mehta and its aftermath have shaken. See, the scandal and its aftermath. Aftermath means outcome, the result after something has happened. So the scandal by Harshad Mehta and its aftermath have shaken up. So it will be have shaken the entire stock exchange. This will be the correct answer. Have shaken the entire stock exchange. It should be have because it talks about two entities. Fine. Next question. He behaves as if he were my boss. No replacement required. I'll tell you why. As if is followed by subject and then followed by were. Were means what? Were means a past subjunctive mood where it is used when we talk about something imaginative, imaginary. So he behaves as if he were my boss. He is not my boss, but he behaves like that. Okay. Now RC, reading comprehension. We'll just read the questions. There are only 5 questions, I guess. Which of the following would correctly reflect the position regarding the 2 approaches to technology adoption? So 2 approaches to technology adoption. Which should be the correct answer? Correctly reflect the position. Next question. Which of the following features of technology has been highlighted most prominently by the author of the passage? Okay. What does the author want to highlight by using the example apparel to aerospace and steel to software? What are the author is adding to the pressure on the companies? What is the immediate effect according to the passage if a company does not innovate? Okay, let's go to the passage and read the questions. Read the passage. From apparel to aerospace, steel to software, the pace of technological innovation is quickening. No longer can companies afford to miss the generation of technology and expect to remain competitive. Adding to the new pressure, innovations are increasingly crossing industry boundaries. A new fiber developed by the textile industry has potential for building materials and medical equipment. Some companies are adept at using diversity of technologies to create new products and transform markets, but the others are floundering because they rely on technology strategy that no longer works in such fast changing environment. The difference between success and failure is not how much company spends on research and development, but how it approaches it. Okay. Next part of the passage. There are 2 possible approaches. Okay, we've got the answer to one question. There are 2 possible approaches. Either a company can invest in R&D, that older generation of technology like breakthrough approach, or its focus on combining existing technologies into hybrid technologies, that technology fusion approach. It blends incremental technology improvements from several previously separated fields of technology to create products that revolutionize market. In a world where old maxim one technology, one industry no longer applies, a singular breakthrough technology strategy is required inadequate. Companies need to include both the breakthrough and fusion approaches in their technology strategy. Let's go to the first question. Both the approaches are to be used at the same time. This will be the correct answer. Both the approaches should be used. The fusion approach and the breakthrough approach, both should be used. Okay. Next part of the question was like, which of the following features of technology has been highlighted most prominently by the author in the passage? So see, you have till now what we have read is which are the following features of technology. So it talks about the innovations, the speed at which innovations are happening. You can see over here. No longer companies afford to. We have seen over here that quickening of innovations, like quick innovations are. Just a moment. Next part. Okay, we'll come back to this question. Next, third question. Let us see the third question. What does the author highlight by using example apparel to aerospace to steel to software? Let's see the first line of the passage. From apparel to aerospace, steel to software, the pace of technological innovation is quickening. So this is the answer to the second question as well. This is the gist of the passage, that the pace of technological innovation is quickening. Let's go to the third question and the second question. Third question and the second question. Third question is like the speed of technological innovation. D will be the correct answer. From apparel to aerospace and steel to software, the approach of technology is quickening. The innovation is speed of technology is quickening. So the speed of technological innovation basically. That will be the correct answer. Let's go to the previous question. Which of the following features of technology has been highlighted most prominently by the author of the passage? The speed at which innovations are happening. That's the main highlight of the passage. That's shown in the first line and the last part of the passage. Let's go to the fourth question. What, according to the author, is adding the pressure on the companies? Applicability, okay, let's see the answer in the passage itself. Adding pressure to the companies. Let's go read from the fast. Read it fast. Adding to the pressure, innovations are increasingly crossing industry boundaries. Okay, So, and what's the pressure, cause of pressure? No longer can companies afford to miss the generation of technology and expect to remain competitive. Okay, let's go to the answer and see. Answer options and see. Applicability of technologies on the industry should have increasing speed of technological innovations, work and load R&D department, demand for customers. So the answer will be B. Increasing speed of technological innovations is adding pressure on the companies. Okay. Next, what is the immediate effect according to the passage if a company does not innovate? Okay, it closes down, it ceases to be competitive in the market, the price of the products go up, our R&D department close down. I think nothing is mentioned in the passage of such kind. Let us read this latter part of the passage and see what will happen. The company ceases to follow the latest technology. Relying on breakthroughs alone fails because it focuses on the R&D efforts, narrowly ignoring the possibilities of combining technologies. Yet many Western companies still rely on almost exclusively on the breakthrough approach. Reasons are complex: a distrust of outside innovations, not invented engineering and elegance, evident to share research. Okay, it's not mentioned what will be the cause of the what will happen if the company fails to, does not innovate, it closes down. It hasn't been mentioned, so not mentioned the passage will be the correct answer. Okay, so with this I like to end the session, students. Thank you so much for being with me.